Hey, what's up, guys? We're at Heart of the Game with returning guest Charlie. Check him out, yugioh, on Twitch and YouTube. We're back with his updated Sky Striker list, and just wanted to get quickly before the new support comes out. So if you want to get into it, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of 3-1, so we'll just get into it. Main deck, 3 Ray, 1 Rose, Rhoda, Hornet Drone, 3 Linkage, and the 2 Engage. These are your 11 ways to the extra deck. Sometimes you don't see any, which is unfortunate. It could lose you some games, but your worst hands are the ones where you draw like multiples of like these ones specifically. Obviously, like engages any, but the hands you draw like 3 of these are terrible. So 11 seems to be like where it's at.
Nice.
And then the other striker cards, 2 roll. I already got my 15.
I need mine. Thank you.
I've seen a lot of people play 1. I think that's incorrect. I watch a lot of profiles, and people will say that it doesn't really do anything going into boards, but that's just incorrect. Activating this demands a response, because if this resolves, your opponent can't respond for the rest of the turn, so they have to do something about this. So it essentially doesn't do anything, but it makes your opponent respond to it, and then your thrusts and your talents are live, which are really good in this deck. 3 Widow, obviously, like, you don't play any less of this. This is like the best one. Steal stuff, it like stops your opponent's plays, really good in conjunction with multi-roll, so 3 of that. 2 Burners, I've also seen people only play 1. I like 2 because, like, multi-roll, this trades 1 for 1 very nice, and it forces talents and thrusts to be alive, because if your opponent doesn't negate this, they just lose a card. So it's good for you either way. You're trading a card, or your talents and thrusts are going to be alive. 1 Area 0. I was playing Terraforming with this previously, but I decided to cut it just because Droll. Droll exists, so you don't want to get drolled on Terraforming. So this is just like cool to open. You can like search it, dump it when you need to dump a card. So just like another consistency card. And then the other one is Eagle Booster and Shark Cannon. This card is insane. This is like literally one of the best cards in the deck. There's so many cool plays you can do with this by making your opponent's stuff unaffected. Like if they try to fusion summon, if they like vanquish soul bounce, try to bounce something back, you can do that. Unchain, targeting a monster to destroy it, they can't destroy it. And then Shark Cannon just has so many applications, just targeting something in the graveyard, banishing it, link climbing with it. Very good. Want to at least play 1 of it. You can't really play into boards, but it's one of those cards you just want to have, because there's a lot of utility with this deck. And then I also played the Hamp. This is just cool to have. Like, you search it when you need to like clear something. It's not super great, but I did a cool play where I gave this to my opponent, and then I summoned Typhon, and then I bounced this back to my hand with the Typhon to have it. So that's the striker stuff. And then the real reason to play this deck, triple thrust, searches literally half your deck. 1 talent. I was trying 2 and 2, but 3 and 1 just makes more sense. You don't want to like clog on these, and these searches like half your deck. They search this, they search this, and they search the other board breakers. So I went with a more board breaker approach, because I felt like hand traps were like pretty mid against every deck, when these were just like super blowouts against every deck other than like Rescue 8s. So they're just better against some more matchups. And I side the hand traps. And then the other cards, 3 Droplet. This card is essentially mandatory in this deck right now. There's a lot of cool plays you can do, sending your quick plays off, and then one of like the interesting interactions is your Sky Striker spells check for 3 spells when they resolve, not when they activate. So if you activate like an Afterburners and then activate this and send spells and get 3 spells in the graveyard, when your Afterburners resolves, you get the bonus effect.
Oh, that's nice.
So something to consider when playing this card. It also beats like the Purrely Field spell. There's a lot of like, it beats Dragoon. A lot of like random things that when you can't target them, this deck has a problem with, so this gets past that. Fingertops and Call by the Grave, these are just like good one-ofs. They're just good cards to like play and have to like help you play into a board, or like interrupt your opponent. Just good to have.
And obviously everyone should know, but this is a going second build.
This goes second. If you couldn't top by the Regagics and stuff. And then Imperm, just because like it's good to have. You don't play into talents with it. It's like obviously the reason why I main deck this hand trap, but also sometimes dumping a trap off of Droplet is good because then they can't respond with like a counter trap. So, because you'll go like Raigeki, and then they'll like chain their like Baron to negate it, because they'll never counter trap negate it. Then you just chain Droplet and then like send the Raigeki in this, and then they lose their whole board against like Mana Dome and stuff. So
that's super nice.
That's the main.
40 main?
40 main, yeah. Extra decks, pretty standard, 3 Kagari, 3 Shiz, 2, I still play the 1. If you summon this, you're probably already losing. Situation doesn't come up. There's plenty of times where I summoned this when I wasn't in a losing position, and they just can't out my striker stuff because of this card. It's also good just to summon it so you don't summon any other of these when you're trying to like bait an interaction out. Like summoning the Kaina before you go into any of these comes up.
Was that in the last profile, the Kaina?
Yeah, I've always played Kaina. I've never cut Kaina. Never will. It's too good not to play. 2 Zeke. This is not really standard. Most people play 1 to this and 1 to Azalea. I don't think Azalea comes up as much because it's too specific. The 2 lights, needing 2 lights or darks doesn't happen as much, and I'd have to go out of my way to do it. Like there are some times where I did play where it like got me back into engine by like shark-handing something like cheeky stuff back, but I just like having 2 of this just to like clear the board better. So that's all the striker extra decks.
Didn't miss the Azalea the last few weeks?
No, not at all. There's like one time it would have came up today, but it never comes up other than that. Dark, SP, and access code are the other links. These don't really need explaining. Like Little Knight's cool in this deck. You don't really end down it. You kind of use it to like play into your opponent's board. Like we played today. I was trying to get to this in our 1 game to like banish the opening so my Raigeki could come in.
Yep.
But like this searches Ray. This just helps you like close out games. And then the last card is Tyrone. It's cool. It comes up. Like I said, I gave my opponent the Hamp and then summoned this, bounced it.
So good.
It's just neat. It's fine to play. I don't know what I would like play over it.
It's really good against certain decks. I think it's really nice to have it.
Yeah, it's nice to have. Better to have it and not need it than like need it and not have it. So side deck is not standard. 3 Ash. I side all hand traps pretty much. So 3, 3, 3, 3. I just wanted a lot of hand traps for like Rescue Ace matchup. Droll is like good, but I only wanted in matchups I know it's gonna be good in. It's too like the format's too wide open for me to like want to like play this card in a deck in my main deck other than like purrely because I can draw into it.
Yep.
And then the best card for going first, even going second, this card, like, I usually just side this in if I think my opponent's going to maybe go first, because I never choose to go first, really. But even if I choose wrong and I side these in and my opponent still goes first, if I clear your board and then set this, I win the game. Like, you're not beating me through the setup and with multi-roll. This card has won me so many games.
Really?
Yeah.
MVP, you'd say?
It's probably the MVP of the side deck. Like, every time I see this card in my opening hand, like in the side games, I feel like I have a really good chance to win this. I chose this over Tikaboo, only one Tikaboo, whatever, because less decks can play around. Like, more decks can play through Tikaboo than Summon Limit. Like,
that hits like
decks
everything.
can't play through this. Like, once you wait for them to commit 2 summons, and then you flip this, and then they just pass. And then you can do whatever you need to do on your turn in 2 summons. So, yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Any shout outs before we